Welcome back to my channel. My name is April Hardiman and I own Make It Rain. I usually do videos on tips, tutorials, and lately I've been doing a lot of reviews on different course platforms or membership platforms within the equine industry. Today I wanted to do Dressage Today online and how they have kind of done their platform online from their magazine, and then how they've transitioned that into there, and who previously owned it and such. So, and just kind of how they use their systems too, since I review it not just as a user but also as somebody that would be creating this and something that they're thinking about doing. Dressage Today online is really unique because some of the top dressage people are on there. It is interesting, you see Courtney King die on there before her injury and such. So it's really cool to see all these different types of training techniques and such, especially how in the past, and then maybe how they've transitioned now. But yeah, I'm ready to dive into it and kind of give you my review, and let me know what you think below. So today we are reviewing Dressage Today on Demand. It used to be called Dressage Training Online, and then I believe Dressage Today, the magazine, purchased this and kind of rebranded it a little bit. But yeah, let's kind of dive into it. So when you first go onto their website, Dressage Today, you'll see, they've got a podcast, they've got their theory, writing, all these little tabs up here, but then you have DT on Demand. So once you click on it, then you jump over here, and this is the screen that opens up, and it kind of gives you a sneak peek into everything that's going on. They're saying that they're available across multiple platforms, so that's awesome. It doesn't say whether or not there's new information that comes out. It does seem like there's a 2019 video that came out with Janet Foy, the judge. We've got Laura Graves, Cassie Perry Glass. So really great top writers are going to be in this program. So you can't deny that for one bit. Some really top trainers. So when you go into sign up, you have a couple options. You have the $36 a month, and then the $345 for 1 year. So then you save a little bit of money by going and signing up for the annual membership. But either one, you still get a 10-day free trial when you start the process. So I have already signed up for this. So we're going to come into here and kind of walk through here. Let me make sure I'm still signed in before. All right, so I'm not signed in yet. So let me sign back in. One thing that's amazing about LastPass is that it's all saved. It makes life so much easier. All right, so it's really cool. You come in here and there's tons of amazing videos. It just keeps, like, if you keep scrolling, it just keeps loading more and more and more and more. Like, I think I sat here the other day just for a few minutes, and tons of videos were popping up, which is awesome, but it's a little hard to get around. So I'm not quite sure. Let's kind of search something. Let's see. So then they do have it seems like a really great search engine. So, divided by category, the different type of trainer. So this would be something really great on the front page, and maybe I just completely missed it. Because that would be, so there are a little bit of filters up top. Okay, great. So this is on the home page. You just have to select for this to be open. So I might have this where it was already there, just because some people just don't understand what filters mean. For us tech people, sometimes it's like, oh, it's simple, we get it, but the users that are using this may not quite understand that, or they just miss it, like, I missed it at first. So that is just something to think about, because when I'm reviewing this, I'm just thinking about it as a user, and as well as like someone that's going to build a website such as this. Like I said, this was Dressage Training Online before, but it worked out really well because they're both DTO. Dressage Today now instead of Dressage Training. What I've noticed a lot is that you'll see something like a newer, like this looks like a really new upgraded, sorry. So one thing that's really weird is that you'll see thumbnails that have really great images and you're thinking maybe this is a really recent video. And then you kind of like click in it. So I'll open it in a new tab, and by the end of this, I'll probably have like 1 million tabs open. So if you go to Debbie McDonald, and you'll kind of come in here, and then it's an older video. So you can still see that, you know, you see the dressage training online. And this is an older quality video. So I don't think they're meaning to be deceiving, or maybe images got lost, so they had to update some things, but it just kind of throws you off a little bit. It might not bother anyone. I'm just pointing it out. And then, you know, there's a little bit of information about her and like what other videos she has. But, you know, there's not much more information here, or I don't know if you wanted to do a quiz or not. I know these are not, all these videos are not connected. They're just kind of small little trainings, just like if you were going to a clinic and auditing them. So it's kind of in that setup idea of like you're going to a clinic and you're sitting down and auditing them. But, you know, to retain that information, how are you, you know, going to remember what you just learned? How are you going to remember to apply this at the barn? You know, some of those few things that, you know, now that we've watched this video, now I need to go to the barn and apply this with my horse. So how can you make that transition easier? Maybe with quizzes, maybe with a workbook, something along those lines. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to the home page, but there's just tons. You've got Scott Hassler, you've got Hessler, sorry, Laura Graves, like, yeah, we love Laura Graves. You got Stephen Peters. I mean, there's just so many people. It's like, you know, it's amazing. It's really great how much knowledge is within this database. And just to be able to learn from these guys is just incredible, especially during a time like this, like to come in here and maybe you're not being able, you know, getting time to ride your horse. If you ever have an injury or whatever, you have a surgery and you need some recovery time, but you're not supposed to be riding, then this would be perfect. Like you're going to learn a ton of information, but how are you going to retain that information to go into, like, are you going to be writing it down? So even like little fun things that could create workbooks that are like even notebooks for you to print off and just kind of make it more of an experience. So you're not having a lot of turnover. People kind of come in here, stay for a few months, you know, figure out, oh, I'm not really using this. Need to get some stuff off of my finances, change my budget around. And usually this memberships like this might be one of the first things to go. So those are just some things to think about. Another thing is, so like what we're talking about, your retention point, how are you keeping your clients? Because sometimes when people are members for like a year or so, like your goal is to get them to be a member for a year, because then it's like they like really trust you, they really value the information you're putting out. So are they getting their members to stay for a year? That's something to think about. And I hope these tips are helpful. I know they may not be what you're wanting, and maybe you just want to be jumping in here and just kind of figuring out all these different options for learning a lot of information. When my husband and I first moved over to Germany, I was only taking lessons like once a week. But I still wanted to, you know, increase my knowledge in horses and be a better equestrian, be a better horsemanship, you know, get my horsemanship to be a lot better. But a lot of it was like, you know, these DVD programs and such, the online platforms had just really started to like slowly pop up. And biggest thing is I didn't have internet. So that's one of the big things, but internet in my neighborhood was a big mess, but eventually we did get amazing internet, but in the beginning it was crazy. So I wanted to see like if there's DVDs I could watch and all these other fun things. So having access to this would have been great. I do think, you know, I don't know if I love the layout of like how it's just like constantly scrolling, but of course, like we said that you have these filters up top, but you would have had to know to click on that. Is there new information coming out? Like I know in the beginning with the sneak peek, there was a Janet Foy one that was in 2019. And maybe we could type that in here, 2019. Yeah, so yeah. So yeah, we got Janet Foy with 2019. I mean, of course, we're in 2020, and we've had this virus and such, so that may, you know, that maybe there was intention to put up new information, but they couldn't because of everything that's going on. But how often are they intending to put up new information? For $36 a month, it is a little more on the pricier side. And for not to be putting out new information constantly, that's something I would be thinking about as a user. Like, I know some of this information that's older is still going to be great, but I want to know, I want to be kind of up to date. Maybe something new is going, new rulings, something else in here that could be a great value for me to stick around. And another thing, I'm just being nitpicky just because I want, if you're thinking about doing this, I want you to think about all the little things to kind of help member retention, to have that experience with your members. The biggest thing, one of the biggest things is when they first onboard to this new platform. You know, you're gonna have like a welcome email. Maybe you have a whole welcome sequence. So they have a welcome email and then another email after that, like, hey, you know, checking in, how are you liking it? Watch these videos first. Usually this is the process through that. Those are kind of some things that help. That way, like when they jump in, they're like, oh my gosh, where do I start? I know for this one, it might be a little different because you know what your problem is, you know what you really want to focus in on, you know who trainers you like. So maybe that's something they can think about when they're, you know, setting this up. And like I said, I know they purchased it from another business, but you know, of course, changes come and go. But otherwise, it doesn't seem like there's really a user thing. There's no forums, no progress stuff, and none of this is saying it's a bad thing. It's just things to think about, like I've said, and I know I keep repeating myself about that, but I don't want to sound like I hate this because I think it's amazing how they have all these great trainers. It's just some things that maybe they would want to put on their website eventually that may make that member experience better for members to stay. Of course, I don't know how many members they have. They may be very successful about how many members they have. I mean, they have the magazine, the best, you know, marketing tool they have, and then they have their podcasts and all this other information that can really be marketing this. So you don't know, they might be doing really well. And then if there are lessons that have a couple videos in, they're easily put right here. And I love that organization, really great. And you can have it on autoplay, so that way they just run back to back. So that's really cool. And then they have like related videos. So trying to see if they were based off the same topic, or maybe these are some things that she addresses with inside of these videos. And then they've got the tags here, so that's really great. So in that filtering, this is how this video would show up within those filters. I'm just kind of tapping in here for Facebook and such. So if I did this, how does it show up? So if you share, so it seems like it'll share what I'm working on, but it won't share like an image or anything. So I'm just, you know, playing around with the buttons and everything. That's what I enjoy. And then if you hit favorites, I wonder if that like shows up on your dashboard somehow. Nope, it just seems like profile, password, and billing. Then it no longer is clicked as my favorites. So I wonder if there is a favorites filter. Doesn't look like it. Okay, so I don't know if the favorites thing does anything, and I may be completely missing it. But yeah, just, so that's even a great place, is that how far back this database is. Would I pay $36 a month for this? It may be something that I'm like, okay, I'm really working on something. I'm gonna come in here, get it out kind of thing. Because there are just so many videos. I don't think I'd ever be able to get through all these videos. It seems like they are shorter videos, some of these. There are a little bit longer ones, 39 minutes. These are the take a peek ones that have the short ones up top. There's some of the e-learning that are just a few, like 15 minutes. There's an hour long one. So it really varies. So then you can kind of pick what video will work well for your timing and what you're doing. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you really enjoyed that review on Dressage Today online. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that little bell button so you get notified when my new videos come out. Thanks again for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.